Hey guys, I'm Drago and we are back for even more Pokemon. Hey guys, I'm Drago and we are back for even more Pokemon Infinite Fusion Spriting. I know this isn't the most popular series on the channel, but I find it really fun to do. And I also had absolutely no idea what else to do for this week's video. I've been so busy and just mentally exhausted, and I've got massive art block, so I thought the easiest thing for me to do is make some sprites. Not much else to say, we're just going to go on the Fusion Dex website, click random, see what we get, and make sprites out of those. I hope you all enjoy. Alright guys, here we are again back on the Fusion Dex website. You all know the drill, let's click random and see what crazy stuff we get. Qwilfish. Oh, he's actually kind of cute. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is one that I can definitely do. Oh yeah, this is going to be a good one. Let's go. This is probably one of the easier ones I've had purely because it's a fish on a fish. So like they're keeping sort of the same theme and they're sort of the same body shape and stuff. This was essentially getting Qwilfish's face, putting it on Carvanha and just sort of adjusting the colours to fit. This is one of those fusions that basically really closely follow the sort of rule of head on the body and the head Pokemon determines the colour palette. Some fusions you can get really creative with, but some fusions are literally just head on body, there you go. And that works. Sometimes on some fusions that works. Like I said, this is a fish on a fish. So just doing that works really well. And of course, I also added the spikes of Qwilfish. Qwilfish reminds me of this recurring nightmare I used to have when I was a child. When I was really young, we had this goldfish in a tank downstairs. And I, for some reason, would have this recurring nightmare about this goldfish becoming basically looking like Qwilfish, but completely black with cartoon eyes. And this fish... it would be in its tank and it would hop along the floor using its tank, like the tank would sort of do the cartoon animation squash and stretch as it would jump along using the tank. And I'd always be like weirdly paralysed in the dreams, like I couldn't use my legs, I'd have to drag myself along on the floor while this evil black pufferfish thing is coming for me. I don't know what my child brain was on, but that was like a recurring nightmare I had. I think I've got a picture that I drew roughly of what that little stupid fish looked like, so here it is if I can find it. So yeah, Qwilfish always reminds me of that. I think that nightmare came from Ratchet & Clank actually. The original Ratchet & Clank has the, I think they're called puffoids. They're basically just little spiky pufferfish things that come after you. And they were an absolute pain because they're these small enemies that you expect to only take one hit to kill, but they actually take 2 hits to kill. So you'd hit them, expect them to be dead, and then they just come for you again and you get hit, and then you've only got like 4 health by default in that game. So those things always did me in as a kid because I played Ratchet & Clank as a kid. So I'm pretty sure the nightmare also came from those. But anyways, just a funny little anecdote for you considering there isn't much else for me to say about making the sprite. But enjoy the speed paint. With that cutie out the way, let's go for the next one. One that's already got a sprite, and he's also an absolute cutie pie. Oh my god, is this the episode of cute ones? Let's see what else we get. Again, another sprite. Oh my god, look at him. He's another cute derp. Okay, here we go again. Oh my god, I keep getting the good sprites. Oh my god, they're so cool. And again. There we go, there's one we've not got, and oh boy, okay. I'm surprised this one hasn't been done actually. The Aegislash fusions are usually done, like they're snapped up really quickly. And they're also usually really cool, so I've got a lot of pressure here, but I think I can do it, let's go. Somehow we jumped from a really, really easy sprite to a really complicated sprite. And it's complicated in terms of, I have a lot of pressure on me for this one. Aegislash fusions are usually really, really cool and artistic. They usually have great premises, a lot of them make references to other media. They're usually done really well, they are just gorgeous. I'll show some of them on screen now. One of my favourites being Aegislash and Sceptile, of course, because Sceptile is my boy. So as a result, I was like, I need to live up to these Aegislash fusions, like it has to happen. So of course, I was going to have Electabuzz hold the sword and shield, and I thought the sort of arms of Aegislash, are they arms? I'm not sure, but those could sort of become a scarf around him. I did just roughly sketch it out at first to sort of get it to work on the pose, just to sort of get my idea down, check that it was going to work, and then I went into the actual spriting. Getting Aegislash's head to work on this was really difficult. I thought I could sort of do the metal bit going across as almost like a mask or part of a helmet, and I can have those antennae that Electabuzz have be the spikes instead of, well, the spikes. And then it can have the one eye, but I'll keep the Electabuzz Electabuzz mouth to make sure it's clear that this is Electabuzz. But I think I eventually got there. It actually started looking like an alien of some kind, like a really cute alien design with like the one eye and the antenna. That could be a Pokemon all on its own. With the hardest part done, I went on to just doing the rest of the body, which was literally just going to be Electabuzz. A lot of the Aegislash things come from the accessories. Initially, I was going to have the sword pointing down, like he was resting the tip on the ground, but then I thought the pose really feels like he's more slashing than he is just holding the sword. But I didn't really have much room to work in. I mean, it's only a 96 by 96 pixel canvas. So what I ended up doing was actually moving Electabuzz to the side a bit, just so I had a bit more room to add in the sword and not make it look too short. I was going to have to really rely on some sort of perspective here to make it look like it was some foreshortening, so that I had room to play with, but it made sense for why the sword looks short, because it's sort of pointed towards the camera, if that makes sense. But eventually I got it in there and I think it worked. I did have to sort of add in a little handle for it, otherwise it just looked like he was holding the blade. But other than that, I think it worked fine. Honestly, once I got the flat colour in, I was still really hating it. I just didn't think it looked very good. I was really hoping that the shading was going to fix it. And that actually is really common when I'm doing these sprites, that after doing the lines of the flat colour, I'll look at it and I'll think, that looks like absolute crap. But it's very much a case of trusting the process. Because usually, as soon as I put the shading in there, it looks a lot better. And I think that was definitely the case for this one. That once I'd done all the line shading and all the actual shadows and gradients and anti-aliasing and stuff, that it looked way better. And I hope I lived up to the Aegislash hype. I really do. Let me know down below in the comments, do you think I lived up to it? The sword, I wanted it to almost look like it was made out of energy and electricity. So I sort of did this gradient where the edge is white and it just goes further into a darker yellow, sort of orangey shade, where it's more concentrated in the middle. Had to be careful, I couldn't use too many colours to make this gradient. There is a colour limit on how many colours can be in a sprite. I believe it's 32 or something like that, 32 separate unique colours. And even just a slight shade change for a gradient counts as a separate colour. So you do have to be really careful when doing that. But I think I got the idea through. And to add even more to it, I decided to make some lightning, sort of these electrical sparkles going around the sword, just to really play into the electric typing of Electabuzz. Initially, I did it how I would usually do it when I was drawing normally, which is have the white center and then have a more saturated color glow around it to really give this idea of bright lightning. But it didn't work so well in pixel art, so I went more into just keeping it one line thick and just sort of gradiating it in the middle where the curves and joins are. That it's more concentrated, therefore it's more yellow. Probably should have done that actually the other way around now that I think about it, but it looked alright, it worked. Alright, the pressure's off, thank God. Let's go for the next one, the last one of this video. Bonkoth? Bonkoth. Oh my god, that name. Bonkoth. Okay, so it's Bonsly and Slakoth. Okay, then. Let's face it, we've always got to have a weird one per episode. There's always got to be one that's really out there. And this is that one. Let's go. Let's give it a go. This is one of those ones that's going to turn out so derpy and adorable. Like, sort of so ugly it's cute kind of thing. We have this little guy, this little tree guy that looks like it's absolutely wide awake versus the absolute just embodiment of sleep and laziness that is Slakoth. Thankfully, I had an idea for this right away. And that was to have the tree of Bonsly basically coming out through the fluff that is on top of Slakoth's head. There wasn't really much else to do with the sprite though. If this was Sudowoodo and Slakoth, there would probably be a lot more to do. A lot more sort of detail in the design, but because Bonsly is a baby Pokemon and it doesn't have much to its design as it is, it's better to keep it simple. Otherwise, it could be mistaken for Sudowoodo. Initially, I was going to give it the claws of Slakoth, the sort of sloth toes, you know, but then I thought it's probably going to be funnier if I give it just a little round feet of Bonsly. I literally just thought it was going to be funny, and it was funny. It was a late decision to add in the eye rings around the eyes. To get Bonsly's colour palette to work with Slakoth, I had to make a lot of new tones, mainly for the markings, such as the stripes and the eye rings. I didn't want to make a whole new colour for those because they're sort of supposed to be the same sort of hue and tone as the main body. So I just basically kept using different tones of brown, just sort of adjusted Bonsly's palette to fit on Slakoth's palette. With those eye rings though, he just looks so wide awake, like he's absolutely wide awake, and he has had no sleep for like a week, and it is the funniest thing. It's probably one of the funniest ones I've made so far. Bro is the embodiment of this text emoji. Alright, there we go. 3 more Pokemon fusions. Sorry, this is a bit of a shorter video. Like I said, I don't have a lot of time or motivation to make a long video at the moment. I've got a lot going on for the next few weeks, so we'll see how we go with videos. Let me know in the comments down below which of these fusions is your favourite one. And while you're at it, maybe like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you did. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!